we'll get started. So last week we talked about the eclipse that was happening on Tuesday, and we're still coming off of that energy now of the solar eclipse. And when we work with the energy of an eclipse, or anytime we work with really lunar energy in general, a key component of this is to practice the art of receptivity, of how can we be open to receive not only the energy of whatever we're working with, but our own experience of intuition. And in this process of receptivity, we're really practicing a lot of letting go. And with eclipse energy, this is really important because this portal that takes us from one place to another is really beyond our control. And so how can we allow ourselves to be transported and to be open to receive that transition and change? This time of year, as we approach Samhain or Halloween, is also a time when it's always said that the veil between worlds is thin. So it's a time when receptivity is heightened, and whether or not you celebrate Halloween, we're going to play with that today. I always do a Halloween themed class. So we'll do that along with this kind of practice of tapping into the feminine energy of receptivity. So take a nice comfortable seat. You can sit up on the edge of a blanket or bolster. You could sit on a block, and you could sit cross-legged or in hero, whatever feels most comfortable on your body. But see if you could find a position where you could allow yourself to get really rooted through the lower half of your body. So as much ease and comfort as physically possible. You can move the flesh away from your sitting bones and widen your base. And then as you inhale, lengthen your spine, take your shoulders up, back, and down. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Begin to connect to your breath. And welcome yourself to your practice today. Allow yourself to land here on your mat in this room at this moment, knowing that there's nowhere else for you to be or nowhere else for you to go. You can give yourself permission to just be. And now begin to notice your seat and the parts of your body that are on the ground. Allow these parts to get heavy and grounded, to really root down into the earth beneath you. Even though the energy of the earth is secure and stable, and at times unyielding, it's also a feminine energy, this energy of the mother. So as you root down through your sitting bones and your base, allow yourself to be held. This grounded nurturing. And on your next inhale, lengthen up out of your hips. Imagine there's a little space between each vertebrae of your spine as the crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. And here, turn your palms to face up if they're not already, welcoming in more receptivity. Allow yourself to be breathed. So that there's a soft openness to the breath. Nothing inhibits this natural pulsation and flow as you breathe in and out. And then I invite you to set an intention for your practice, which could simply be to be open to receive, or to allow yourself to be carried by the flow, whatever lunar energy is present in your life at this time. Or maybe it's to be receptive to this thinning of the veil, to what's beyond, and ask for intuitive insights or guidance into your life. When you're ready, bring your hands together in front of your heart. We'll begin our class and seal in our intentions with 3 cleansing breaths. Take a deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. 2 more like that. And gently bow your head to your heart. Slowly open your eyes, release your hands. You'll come to a comfortable cross-legged seat if you're not there already. And if you have been sitting cross-legged, you'll just switch the cross of the legs. Sit up nice and tall, relax your shoulders back and down. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. So we call this vampire. You can take your left hand down, fingertips touching the ground. And you could stay just like that, or you could inhale your right arm up, bend your elbow, and bring your fingertips to the side of your head. And very gently assist in the neck stretch. Notice if the side body, if the rib cage starts to press out to the left, draw it back in so that the stretch is really coming from the neck and you're not compensating to avoid where you might feel tension. A few more breaths here in vampire. Release your hand from your head, bring that down, bring your head back up to center. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you'll bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Side to side might be very different, and if you're not feeling much, you could play with the level of your chin. So maybe the chin needs to draw in a little more towards the neck, or maybe it needs to lift a little. And you could stay just like this, or you could inhale your left arm up, bend your elbow, bring your fingertips to the side of your head. And vampire, second side. So as we sit and breathe, we just notice whether or not it's easy to receive the breath, or if there's some resistance, if our inclination is to grip, tighten, hold the breath, try to control it, where this energetic avoidance shows up in either the body or the mind, in our thoughts. And instead, could we let that wash away? Could we release that and be open to receive the flow of our breath, the flow of energy? creating more space in the body, more space in the mind. Go ahead and release your left hand down, inhale your head back up to center, and make your way to all fours for cat and cow. Today it's black cat and cow, Halloween cat, right? So wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Take an inhale and arch your back. Bring your gaze up. Exhale, round your back like a black Halloween cat, chin to your chest. Breathe. Moving with your breath, noticing where there's areas of tension, noticing where there's areas of hypermobility, and creating balance here, right? So if the low back is hypermobile, maybe you don't arch it 100%. Maybe we create a little barrier there. The art of receptivity is not simply about taking in, right? It's about being open to receive in a way that most benefits us. So sometimes that's opening the valve more, and sometimes it's closing it up. On your next inhale, come to a neutral spine. And then we'll move into child's pose, which today is called trick-or-treater. So knees wide, big toes together, send your hips back to your heels, stretch your arms out in front of you, forehead to the mat, and take a few breaths here. See if you could soften right behind the heart. Focus on the energy of allowing the heart to gently open. From here, we'll move into downward facing werewolf. So you tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, press your chest back towards your thighs. You could keep your knees slightly bent, especially for the first one. Pedal out your legs. Something that we often lose as we age and become grown-ups is to receive the energy of play. So today in this class, maybe you connect to that childhood joy of trick-or-treating, of Halloween, fun of dressing up, and that deep, mysterious energy that comes with the season. From here, you'll come to a high plank. We'll call this walk the plank today. You press out through your heels, lift your kneecaps, hug the legs in towards each other, soften behind the heart, extend out through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, roll forward on your toes, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Curl the shoulders up, back, and down. Point the toes, press the tops of the feet, keep them rooted. Inhale up into serpent, to snake pose. And then exhale back into downward facing werewolf. Inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. And exhale as you fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Come to Witch Mountain pose. So Tadasana, feet parallel, sitting bone or hip distance apart. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Few breaths here in Witch Mountain. And then extend your arms straight out in line with your shoulders, parallel to the ground, and rock side to side like Frankenstein's monster. Then come back to center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Interlace your fingers, steeple your index fingers. Squeeze your arms towards your ears. Press down into your feet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach out and over to the right. We'll call this one Howl at the Moon. So hips press to the left as you arch to the right. Keep both feet level here in crescent. Inhale back through center. Exhale, reach out and over to the left. Send your hips to the right. Howl at the Moon, second side. Gaze could be down towards the ground, straight out in front of you or up under your arm. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Then turn your palms face up. Inhale, arms up. So this is owl. Take your arms all the way up. Exhale, arms all the way back down like you have big wings and you're slowly stretching them up towards the moon in the sky and exhaling back down. Exhale, release your arms by your sides. And then here you'll twist side to side and let your arms swing and wrap around you. This one's called Ghost. Come back to center. Inhale, sweep your arms up like an owl. And this time, exhale, bow forward and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway to a flat back, and exhale, step back into downward facing werewolf. When you're ready, you'll move through a vinyasa. Inhale forward to walk the plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale up into serpent or snake pose. Exhale back into downward facing werewolf. Right leg lifts as you inhale, lunge it forward as you exhale. Coming into a high lunge, right knee over your right ankle, press out through your back heel, press your left thigh up towards the sky, hug the legs in towards each other. Inhale, arms up. And then you'll bring your arms to cactus. And here we are in scarecrow. Lift your heart. Exhale, release your hands back down to the ground. Pivot your back heel down. Cartwheel your arms up into warrior two. This one's called bat wings. Here, bring your hands to your hips. Turn your right toes in. Feet are parallel to start. Legs are wide. And then turn both toes out. Bend your knees, sink your hips, coming into witch or goddess pose. Take a few breaths like this. And then you'll clasp the hands together in front of you and stir the cauldron. Go in one direction. And then the other. Come back through witch. Press down into your feet. Inhale, stretch everything all the way up. Turn your right toes out, your left toes in. Cartwheel your arms down. Come back into downward facing werewolf. And we'll do the second side. Left leg lifts as you inhale, lunge it forward as you exhale. Starting with your high lunge, left knee stays stacked over your ankle, press your back thigh up, hug the legs in towards each other. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then come into scarecrow, bring your arms to cactus. Breathe. Lift your chest, lift your heart, open to receive. And then exhale, bring your hands down, pivot your back heel down. When you're ready, cartwheel your arms up, warrior two, second side, coming into bat wings. And then from here, same thing, you'll move into goddess. You can bring your hands to your hips, bring your feet to parallel to start, then turn your toes out, bend your knees, sink your hips, come back into witch. And then clasp your hands, use the exotic interlace. So just whichever way you normally do, switch, and then stir the cauldron. In one direction, and then the other. Come back up through witch. Turn your right toes in, left toes out, cartwheel the arms down, downward facing werewolf, move through a vinyasa here. Right leg lifts as you inhale, lunge it forward as you exhale. And then here, toe heel your right foot to the right side of your mat. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Bring your back knee down. Coming into lizard lunge. Today it's witch on a broomstick. So you could stay here up on your fingertips. You could use blocks for your forearms, or bring your forearms all the way down to the mat. Relax the space just behind the heart as you ride your witch's broom. And then here we can really begin to practice this art of receptivity as we tap into these longer held, deeper hip opening poses. Where with every breath, there's a letting go. There's a softening, a deepening. You become a little more open, a little more vulnerable, and overall more receptive. And once we allow this to occur, perhaps we sense a shift, a changing of our energy, and a deeper connection to that part of ourselves that unwavering pool of light. You'll slowly make your way back into downward facing werewolf and then switch sides. So left foot will come forward, right knee comes down, toe heel your left foot over to the left side of your mat. Bring your forearms to the blocks or the ground. At this time of year in Scorpio season, we see letting go all around us as the leaves fall from the trees, as we begin to let go of the hours of sunlight and welcome more darkness. We begin to let go of warmth and welcome in the colder weather that autumn brings. How do we move through this transition? How do we receive the shifting energy of the seasons? Remind yourself now to come back to your breath and to soften into it. Just a few more breaths. And then from here, slowly make your way back into downward facing werewolf. This time, take your right leg to the sky. Open up the hip, stack the hip, coming into a three-legged dog or scorpion sting. Your heel comes towards your left sitting bone as the right knee moves towards the sky. Keep the shoulders level and breathe. And second side. Right leg comes down, left leg lifts, stack the hips. Left knee reaches towards the sky as the heel moves towards the right sitting bone. Level out your shoulders. Scorpion sting. Release. Move through a final vinyasa here if you'd like. Once you make your way back into downward facing werewolf, you'll walk your hands back to meet your feet. Then turn your toes out, heel toe your feet out a little bit wider. Toes turn out, bend your knees, sink your hips, coming into Malasana or frog. Press your knees into your elbows back into your knees. Lift your chest towards your thumbs. Crown of the head rises. And then slowly come down to sit. Take your legs wide. Spider's web. So move the flesh away from your sitting bones. You could use blocks here for this one. We want to work towards keeping the pelvis upright and then eventually slightly tipping forward. So if that doesn't happen, you could take a little blanket under your sitting bones to assist the pelvis in finding that tilt. Then inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale as you fold forward, forearms to blocks. And then we'll be here for a few minutes, giving us again this opportunity to connect to more subtle energy, to practice that softness of receptivity and allowing. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Inhale, walk your hands back up. And just take a moment now to pause. You could keep your legs wide, or you could bring your hands to the backs of your thighs and come into a cross-legged seat, just a comfortable position where you could pause for just a moment. As you pause, feel yourself soft. Feel yourself receptive. And feel yourself open. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees wide. This one's called Skelly Yin, little yin butterfly pose. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forward. You can let the back round, let your head hang. And we'll be here for just a few minutes. Take a few deeper breaths. Inhale, come up to rise. Bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. Draw your legs in. Then extend your legs straight out in front of you. Move the flesh away from your sitting bones and pause here in zombie. Draw the low back in and up, shoulders back and down, chest lifts, crown of the head towards the sky. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Cross your right foot over your left. Bring your right hand behind you. Inhale, left arm reaches, and then you'll slowly start to twist to the right, imagining that your body is like the hand of a clock and moving slowly through the hours, coming into this pose called witching hour. So go ahead and twist, slowly winding the body like the hand of a clock. Maybe gazing back over your right shoulder. Breathe. Inhale to unwind, little counter twist. Inhale back to center and switch sides. Extend the right leg out, hug the left knee in, cross your left foot over your right leg, left hand behind you. Inhale, right arm up, and then coming into witching hour, very slowly rotating to twist, moving like the hand of a clock from 1 hour to the next until you come into your fullest expression of the twist, whatever that looks like today. And breathe. Inhale to unwind, little counter twist in the other direction. Come back to center. Slowly make your way down onto your back. And once you arrive here, inhale, reach the arms overhead, full body stretch, and then take your legs wide, your arms wide, coming into pentacle. Let yourself relax here. Let this be a pose instead of a transition. Let this be a place where you can land and be and rest. A place where you could settle in. And then you'll bring your legs back together, your arms overhead like your long magic wand. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest, curling up into a little ball. Today, this is called pumpkin. You can give yourself a massage on your low back, making circles in one direction and the other. Then take your knees wide, soles of the feet up towards the sky. Grab onto your feet for spider. Rock side to side. And then whenever this pose feels complete for you, you can come into your final relaxation pose, into corpse pose. Let your feet gently open to the sides. Arms down by your sides with your palms face up. Take a deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. 2 more cleansing breaths like that. And then allowing yourself to receive the energy of Shavasana, where we practice this little death, this ultimate act of letting go as we release our practice, as we release all of the parts of ourselves that might be draining, the parts that aren't in alignment with our highest self. We can relinquish back to the earth, allowing the earth to receive any energy that doesn't serve us and convert it back into something new that we can draw back up into ourselves, fully cleansed, refreshed, and restored as we take Shavasana. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Drawing your awareness back to your body. Slowly wiggling your fingers, your toes. You can begin to move and stretch in any way that feels good for you. When you're ready, draw your knees into your chest. Roll to your right side. And make your way back up to find a comfortable seat. Once you arrive here, close your eyes and bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment to honor yourself for this energetic work, practicing receptivity. Take a moment to honor yourself for this physical practice of being here on your yoga mat, shifting the flow of energy in the body, shifting the state of energy in your mind, and shifting the balance of energy in your soul. Call back your intention that you set at the beginning of class. We'll seal it in here with a final cleansing breath. Take a deep breath in and release it. Gently bow your head to your heart. The light within me recognizes and honors this very same light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for your practice today. So great to be here with you. A wonderful week, and I will see you next weekend.
Thanks, Erin. I love the class.